Hi my friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today we're going to talk all about Virgo season, what Virgo means, what the energy of Virgo season brings, some transits to look out to, and some spiritual practices and magic that you can jump into. If you are watching this on August 22nd, happy first day of Virgo season. We are here until September 22nd, and there's quite a bit to unpack. So as we're leaving the fiery energy of Leo season and stepping into Virgo season, we're going to have a little bit of this shift because Leo is like very bold, very creative, very loud. And after all that intensity, including the Mercury retrograde we just had, I don't know about y'all, but that was one of the most intense, worst Mercury retrogrades that I've experienced in years. So normally I am the hype person for any fire season. As an Aries, normally I'm so excited to get out of Cancer season. It's always so treacherous for me, and it was. But Leo season didn't offer much relief. So Mercury retrograde definitely played a huge factor in that for me. So how was it for you? Are you excited that it's over? We have like 2 or 3 more days in the shadow period, and then it should be clear. It should be quiet. The noise has been so loud. Again, Leo season, very loud. So let me know, how was Leo season for you? How was Mercury retrograde for you? How are we feeling? But Virgo is inviting us to refine, to kind of cleanse this energy away, and to just like ground down and like chill. Chill the F out. This is all about refinement, taking and using the resources that we already have, making things work better, developing better systems, and creating clarity where things feel a little bit scattered. So let's talk a little bit more about Virgo itself. Virgo is often misunderstood as being picky, high maintenance, too critical, rude, mean, but in reality, it's like, are they really like critical and mean, or are they just the friend that's gonna tell you the truth? You know what I mean? It's like, it depends how you look on it, but their gift is honestly, it's discernment. They're always going to be honest with you. They're always going to notice the little details that you may oversee or details that you're willing to look past, and Virgo's going to be there to remind you of those things because the little things add up to big things over time, and they want to figure out what's out of alignment and adjust things so that they're functioning properly. So if you're going to a Virgo for advice, they're going to point all those things out. They're going to say all the things you don't want to hear because it's not because like they want to be mean about it or callous about it. They want to help you and be like, hey, you're not really seeing this for what it is, and this is the fucking truth. As an Aries, I hate asking a Virgo for advice, but I will always go to my Virgo cousin for advice. She has such great insight, and she will tell me the things I don't want to hear, which is why I don't love it, but I need it. So thankful to have her in my life. Virgo is also very analytical, practical, deeply caring at its core, because the goal of Virgo is to bring things into balance, right? Like, we're getting close to Libra season, balancing the scales. Virgo is like wanting to bring the scales to present to Libra. They want life to flow with ease. They want to create systems to make that happen. They're not just going to willy-nilly it. They're going to research, develop a system, organize, and then implement it. They're going to ensure that inspiration doesn't just burn out. So if we're taking like the creative energy of Leo, and they're going to make sure that that creativity doesn't burn out. They're going to find a way to try to sustain it in a realistic manner and turn it into like a system that will last. That's what Virgo does with transmuting energy and transmuting things into better systems. And when it comes to Virgo, it is an earth sign, and it sits among the other two. It's a middle child. We have Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So when we think about our little earth signs, they're like little business entrepreneurs. We can lean into that stereotype. Taurus is like very much a homebody. So Taurus is like at home making candles in their kitchen, coming up with different scents. They're all about setting a vibe. They have like the coziest blankets. They have all the self-care. Like they have their skincare like down to a T, and they will take these products that they're creating. Let's go with the candle thing. They're creating these candles and they're not like gonna go out into the world. They're like, I want to stay home and do this at home. I don't want to leave my house and go do a thing and then have to be around people. Like they're like, I want to be in my house. So they invite Virgo over, and Virgo is like, oh, I see what we're doing and I like it, but let's refine this. Let's create a system. Let's organize this. Let's find a better way to produce this. Let's find a way, like, let's create a system for tracking your candles. And then Capricorn walks in, and Capricorn is like, I see a business model here. Let's get this laid out. So they'll all work together, and like Virgo's the one creating the spreadsheets. Capricorn is the one figuring out a business plan. Taurus is the one creating the product. So they all kind of work in this harmony of the earth sign energy coming together. And the main takeaway is that out of the three of them, Virgo is the sustainer in this trio that's going to keep the gears moving with precision and clarity. Now, we can't talk about Virgo without their planetary ruler, our bestie Mercury. Normally, j'adore Mercury. Do not like Mercury retrograde. Still bitter about the last few weeks. Anyway, Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury. It's the planet of communication, the planet of commerce, the planet of analysts, and it's kind of, you can see how Virgo relates to Mercury and how these things like communication, analysis, commerce, traveling, all these other aspects of Mercury, how, you know, those things go a little awry during Mercury retrograde, right? It makes sense. So when it comes to Mercury being the planetary ruler of Virgo, Mercury is not just asking us to talk, it's wanting us to truly digest the information that we're getting, to share it, to analyze it, to spread it. It wants us to be honest about what's working, what isn't working. It wants us to make sense of this information and to not just spread it just for the sake of spreading information, because we don't want, like, Mercury is very much not about misinformation, you know. It's not a planet of deception like perhaps Neptune. But it wants you to share the information that you're learning with clarity, to like make sure that you have the facts right before you share something. And it's really going to help shape our ability to kind of cut through the noise and streamline systems to figure out what's working, what isn't working. So together, the planet and the sign are going to deliver the cold, hard, but necessary truth about things. Now let's talk about transits that we're going to be experiencing from August 22nd to September 22nd. There's kind of a lot going on. So this Virgo season on August 25th, we have Mercury post-shadow, like, done. So the 25th, yay. On the 25th, we also have Venus entering Leo, which is pulling themes of love and pleasure back into the spotlight, because thank goodness, am I right? I don't know. Like, Cancer season and Leo season have really been like testing me. I know collectively we're all feeling it. So like, thank goodness for Venus entering Leo and kind of bringing a sense of pleasure back into things, because we so desperately need that. On September 1st, Saturn retrogrades back into the sign of Pisces. It's kind of back and forth between Pisces and Aries, but it's going to be moving back into Pisces, revisiting these lessons of discipline, boundaries, your spiritual practice, and the discipline and boundaries within your spiritual practice. And that is going to be a really good thing to reflect on during the eclipse season that's going to be happening during the month of September as well, but more on that in a little bit. September 2nd, Mercury is going to enter Virgo. It's going to be so happy, right? Because the planetary ruler of Virgo is Mercury. So it's really going to boost the analytical energy, encourage us to fine-tune things as we're working. Also, it's going to help us to fine-tune our habits and our routines. So if we've really been feeling amiss during Mercury retrograde, you know, the post-shadow season is done on the 25th, and then we kind of have a few days to settle into the energy and really have it hone us back in on September 2nd. So hopefully by then we are feeling like back on track and right about things in the vibes and sense and world of Mercury. On September 5th, that's going to bring Uranus retrograde, and that's really going to, it's a planet that likes to shake things up. So it's going to shake up stability, it's going to shake up resources, it's going to shake up your comfort zone in very unexpected ways. Uranus is like, surprise! So that will be interesting. On September 18th, we have Mercury moving into the sign of Libra. So we have some time to like recalibrate in the sign of Virgo with it. It moves on to Libra, shifting focus to very balanced communication and fairness. On September 19th, I told you, it was a very busy Virgo season. Venus is going to enter the sign of Virgo, refining our values, refining our relationships, refining our aesthetic. And finally, on September 22nd, when Virgo season ends and Libra season begins, Mars is going to enter the sign of Scorpio, adding intensity and determination to our actions. So, even though Virgo likes order and things to go smoothly, there's a lot of shifting energy that we're going to be navigating this coming month. And speaking of shifting energy, I mentioned eclipse season. It is time for eclipse season again. If you are sitting there going, I'm always hearing about Mercury retrograde, I'm always hearing about eclipse season, they are the two popular things, babes, because Mercury is a fast, speedy little ball that's just like, it like rotates so quickly that we have Mercury retrograde every quarter. That's why you probably feel like you're constantly hearing about it, because every quarter it happens. And when it comes to eclipse season, eclipses happen twice a year. So every 6 months there's going to be a new moon and full moon happening in an eclipse. Twice a year we get to rewrite our destiny and our stories. So if you would like me to make a separate, more in-depth video on eclipses, I'm happy to. I might have one already here on this channel. You could try the search bar. But eclipses are portals that carry really unexpected, unpredictable, chaotic energy, and it's tied to an 18-year cycle. So with that being said, normally I conclude my videos with a spell, but because so much of Virgo season is contained during eclipse season, I personally don't manifest during eclipse season because I don't want it to be tied to the chaos of an 18-year cycle and have it go a little bit haywire. There are people that love to manifest during eclipse season, so do what feels good to you, what feels right to you. That's just what I personally do during eclipse season. It's good spiritual hygiene to pause in our practice, because if we're constantly taking, you know, it's a good hygiene to just like pause and be like, okay, let's let things simmer a little bit and see where we are next month. Let's take a pause, let's reflect, let's make sure what we're asking for is still what we want. So it's just like a good moment in practice to just have that moment of waiting and receiving. So again, like I said, it's very much great to reflect during eclipse season. Do I still want what I've been chasing? Has my vision shifted? Am I still aligned with the things that I thought I want previously? And this can even be a year ago, a few months ago, last month. Like, is that still what you're really wanting to manifest? And how it works for me with this pause is I will do a week before the eclipse and a week after. So the first eclipse is on September 7th. So a week before, I'll pause my manifestation practice. The second eclipse is on September 21st. So a week after that, I will resume my manifestation process, because the energy of the moon can last for about a week. Even though the moon changes signs, very often the energy of the moon, the new moon and full moon, is so potent, it lasts and lingers for about a week. So that's kind of how the time is measured and where myself and other astrologers may get those timelines and time periods from. in case you were curious. Alright, so with all that being said, what can we do during eclipse season? I want to offer you something different, some embodiment, some grounding, some cleansing. And when it comes to this, when you're doing a cleansing ritual, you're not necessarily directly like manifesting, especially if you are on the regular cleansing the energy. That is not like manifesting $10,000 or a better job or your dream job or, you know, a house or to travel. It's clearing out like the icky, stagnant energy. So I hope that that kind of explains the difference a little bit. So when it comes to cleansing rituals or things that you do every day, like for protection, that's still fine to practice, still fine to do. So I think that embodiment, grounding, and cleansing really fits into Virgo season because they really thrive when things are clear, when they're simple, when things are sustainable. And this is a great time to maybe develop or practice around this. So what you can do is smoke cleanse your house. I recommend using incense. You can burn herbs if you want. If you are, also make sure you have the windows open so the energy can physically like leave the house. It has a way out. And if you don't like smoke, you can also do a simmer pot with the same intention. You can clear with a bell, like some kind of sound, a sound bowl. What you can also do is sprinkle some salt and cleansing herbs on the floor and sweep it as a representation of you cleansing the energy and clearing the energy out. You can also wash your front door with a magical cleansing solution. You can even do something as simple as picking one area in your home to declutter and donate. Like, what can you donate? What can you get rid of? What isn't serving you anymore? Or even, you know, going into your closet and organizing a closet. Like, that is a perfect practice. You can also balance that with grounding and embodiment practices. So literally grounding, like going barefoot in the grass, connect to earth, spend time outside, going on a mindful walk. You can do a body scan meditation to reconnect with yourself head to toe if you feel a little disconnected from your head and body. Cooking is also a beautiful Virgo practice. You can make a simple meal and have an intention that goes with it and let the chopping, stirring, tasting, the whole process of crafting and creating that meal become a grounding ritual in itself. All that to say, these small and simple practices remind us that magic isn't always big. It doesn't always have to be loud. It doesn't always have to be like this aesthetic thing. It's not always about calling things in all the time either. It's sometimes the most powerful magic is simply being present, being grounded, and just aware of the life around us, the beauty around us, the magic that is around us, like seeing a butterfly on your walk or a dragonfly, you know, just being present and recognizing the magic that exists in front of our eyes in our day-to-day life. So as we move through Virgo season, remember, it's all about refinement, not perfection, especially to my Virgos out there watching. Not about perfection, refinement, always the goal. It's also all about clearing the clutter mentally, physically, spiritually, and looking for clarity over the next month. So how are you planning to ground yourself during Virgo season? Let me know in the comments, and if this resonated, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. As always, thank you so much for your time and energy. I really appreciate you. Happy Virgo season, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye everyone.